Hello, my name is Jesse. I'm a costumer, and we're doing another Jaskier video. It's been a while. A lot's happened since the last video. I haven't really touched the project in a while. There's quite a number of reasons for that, but I'm gonna get into that. So this video, we're gonna be making the sleeves. So where I left off last time, I had the jacket in a wearable state, and I had a sleeve that didn't fit. Um, so this is where we left off. I don't think I had the shoulder seam done for the fitting video. So this is it. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. And also the sleeve. So the sleeve fits now. And I've got the style lines on. Yeah. Isn't that cool? So that is the second pattern that I went through, a one-piece sleeve pattern. And yeah, that was a bit of a journey. So the pattern I've got here. So this is what I ended up with. See, look at that. Look at all of those pieces. There's a hem. Wow. Doesn't that make you incredibly anxious? Yeah. Yeah, so there is I'm pretty sure there is, including the cap piece at the top, 25 pieces in this guide here. So there is 25 pieces per sleeve. That is much more than I ever want to put in a sleeve ever again. But we're going to power through it. So I've traced off those pieces, and today I'm going to be cutting out and assembling these guys. So the reason I haven't felt like working on this for a while, I haven't done any videos, I haven't done any updates on Instagram. Life has just been busy. But also, in between that, I haven't felt super motivated to work on this. For some reason, I just couldn't bring myself to stress about making this gold sleeve with 25 pieces in it. I mean, I can't fathom why I didn't want to do that. Which is insane because I love this costume and I want to finish it. But I just haven't had the motivation, and there's been other stuff going on in the background, like Supernova got announced again. That was what I was working towards in the last video, and I was so confident that I was going to finish it before then. And then it got to a point where I was like, God, I don't think I'll finish this. Then it got cancelled, and then we've got another date, October. So that's good. I've still got a goal to work towards, which is good because I need that. I don't want to finish it in the week of. I want to finish this at a reasonable pace so that I can move on to another project. Maybe something else I'll wear on Supernova. Maybe I really want to work on Bayonetta, but I haven't. I just haven't. I can't wrap my head around this. I can't have two things going on at once when they're both such labor intensive costumes. So that's why I just haven't felt like it, and it is very hard. So I'm gonna do it today. Today is gonna be sleeve day, and that may stretch over the next couple of working days, but I'm gonna make a sleeve, and hopefully I'll have it inserted into the jacket because that's gonna be the make or break thing. I might have to make some adjustments to the sleeve to make it fit, but the calico version did get in quite easily, and there are ways that I can adjust this sleeve to make sure it fits in the sleeve head because there is quite a lot going on with the sleeve. The one piece, although it is a much less complicated sleeve pattern, it wasn't made from the same draft as the jacket itself was. The jacket was based on a men's military pattern, I think from the 1930s. It's a very form-fitting jacket, which made it perfect, but the matching sleeve for it was not ideal because it was a two-piece, and if you can imagine a two-piece sleeve, just imagine a two-piece sleeve. There will be a side. What am I doing? there'd be a side seam here and a side seam on the other side. And when I've got these sharp, angular style lines on it, there is a way I could have done this. Okay, I could have cut it out in calico, I could have drawn on it, and then I could have cut out the pattern pieces, like literally just cut out in the calico, and I'd be like, these are the working patterns, all of this. But that is that's so much more work to make this pattern do what I want it to do, when I could make this simpler pattern do the same thing, but there's a few more complicated sort of alterations to make to it. Like the main hurdle that I had was adjusting the ease for the fabric itself, and to fit the sleeve, the arm side, and also adjusting the pitch points, because the pitch points were in very, very different positions to the form that I was using, because the jacket was I used a AS Bridgeland pattern. Actually, it may not have been in this volume. Okay, it may have been in volume 3, because I think the volume 3 has the military jackets and some of the ceremonial stuff, which I believe was the block I used, a ceremonial jacket of some sort. And the sleeve was probably the most accessible book, Winifred Aldrich. Yeah, Winifred Aldrich, a men's flat pattern. And you could have used a women's one, actually. It would have been fine, but this is just the one that I have. And I just adjusted the pitch points very carefully. It's probably not quite as accurate as it could be, but it fits, it works, and the style lines, the top two, match up with the jacket like it does in the show. And that's the main thing. It's close enough, and close enough is good enough in this case. So yeah, that's my job for today. That's my excuse for not making any videos and not making any progress. It was hard, but now I'm doing it. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to be making the sleeve. I'm going to gloss over all the art finishing, because no one needs to see me stress about that all over again. We're just going to show the highlights, the best bits of the sleeve. So yeah, that's my first job. Pin out these patterns, cut it out, and then. So when I said there was 25 pieces, I hope maybe it's slightly less, because if if my maths is wrong, that means that there is 25 in the self fabric, 25 pieces of the sleeve, and then there's 25 in the drill. So there is 100 pieces for this fucking sleeve. That's so cool. Yeah, so let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Welcome back. So, as is tradition, I'm recording this outro quite a bit later than I actually made this. Actually, not so much later. I started recording this video like 3 weeks ago and it just got dragged out for so long, but it's finally here. The sleeves are real, they're assembled, and they're in. And that's what we want. Look, evidence, they're in. So yeah, I am really, really happy with how these turned out. As you can see, the lining's all in there. It's just waiting for me to firstly remove the gathering stitching, which I had to do by hand. I'm going to talk through what I did actually in just a moment. And once I do get the front facing on this jacket and the lining, I can, secure this lining, and then it won't be such a hassle to get on. And I'd love that if I could put this on and it not take forever. So I found the armhole, so I'm gonna put it on real quick. Being, maybe. Oh wow. Oof, that lining. There we go. Oof. How about that? Oof. I'm really happy with this. Look at this back. Now, obviously, there's a lot I would have done differently, and that's a story of everything I make. But in hindsight, I probably could have put a lot less ease into these sleeves, particularly because with a general sleeve, like a tailored suit jacket sleeve, what you would do is you would have maybe 5 centimeters of excess that would be eased into the armhole, and then that would give you a soft little, like what I've kind of got here. This is an exaggeration, but it's a little bit too much, and it's not really a problem for this case. But if it was for a suit jacket, then I'll be like, too much puff. So for this, it's perfect because the problem I have with it is a non-issue because we've got the epaulets, which is, that's going to cover up that little mistake. But yeah, in hindsight, I would have put a lot less ease into it, and I would have made it sort of fit as closely as I could into the armhole. That's my cat. One moment. As I was saying, I would just make sure that it was cut to the exact measurements. The reason I didn't do that, because it did occur to me in the drafting process, in the toile itself, but the problem was that these armholes were really, really tight as it is. And to alter the sleeve, what I was having to do, I'll show you the pattern. We're getting out the pattern again. To make that small enough for this arm side, it was making the sleeve itself really quite a bit smaller than I needed, because it is a tight fit on my arm. That's the style that I'm going for. But if I did lose even a centimeter or like 3 centimeters, I think, like I was thinking I would have to do, it just wouldn't get on me. Like, I don't have big arms. I really don't have big arms. And to do that, I think it'd be a problem. So I think if I was going to reattempt this, I would definitely have another go at the drafting and see if I could, having had time to think about it, have another whack at just narrowing the sleeve head and giving myself a lot less ease, if at all possible. But for this, it's not really as big an issue as I'm thinking. It's just very fresh at the moment that, but I can live with it, and it's just one of those things that, stuff happens. I'm learning from this. and that's all that matters. So yeah, the sleeves are in. There's some gathering. That's not a problem. It's relatively even to my eye. I did measure the back, so the back's fine. The front, I might redo the left side, I think. But the main thing that I was trying to line up was that one. That one right there. Because that's what I intended. So when I did the registration points, because in this pattern I had to move them because I was using a vintage military pattern for the bodice. Well, it's a very tightly fitted jacket, so kind of like a bodice. So I was making a new reference point for this sleeve, which was made from a different draft. So a lot of problems, a lot of unexpected issues with adapting the drafts to make them fit each other. But generally, I'm pretty happy with it because that was the main point that I needed to match. That was the one I'm like, okay, everything else doesn't really matter because, as you can see, as far as the aesthetics concerned, it's pretty. Continuity is correct. Continuity is correct. My video continuity isn't, but that's a whole nother thing. So yeah, it worked out quite well, and the lines are exactly as they should be. But I didn't document this process just because I was still quite triggered by the last stint with the foiling for this, and it's far from over now because I don't know if you can see that here, if it's that noticeable, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to apply some more foiling to the jacket fronts and particularly the back. Mainly because it looks like it may have just come off from me handling the jacket. You know, maybe it's just rubbed off over time and the black on the glue has just stayed. But regardless, I think I am going to have to just hand paint on some more glue like I did for the sleeves and just very roughly add a bit more gold texture to the trims. Just so that it fits more in line with the sleeve, because I probably can take some of the sleeve off with great difficulty, but I like it. I kind of like this, actually. So that's a little art finishing thing I'll probably tackle at the end of the build, actually, because it's not going to take me much time. I'm just going to go through, put a little bit of paper on the reverse side. Sorry, you can't see that. Put a little bit of paper or tape on the reverse side, and then just gently, carefully brush on some more gold texture on there, and that'll be enough to draw, not distract from how gold the sleeves are. You know, it'll fix the mistake I made. That's fine. What else? I needed to sew through. I mean, that's not news, but my little semi-industrial couldn't handle the side seams or attaching the ribbon. So that was another hurdle, but I managed to get that all on there. As you can see, the sleeves, I'm really happy with how they turned out. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult to get these really angular shapes and textures, but it turned out really well. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, it is a very tight fit, and once the lining's in, this is going to be a lot easier to get into. But I'm going to take this off because, as you can see, it is very hard to get out of as well. So having a nice, I can't believe I'm saying this, a nice acetate or a satiny sort of finish lining will make all the difference in getting this on. I'll be able to just glide off. That's the theory. So the next step for me is I've got a turnover for the right side. So that's where the buttons are going to be on. And on this side, I've got the tape and I've also got some seam allowance for facing. So I was going to face both edges, but I wanted to have the one with the side to have a softer, like just I didn't want to have a machine edge like the button loops are going to have, because it didn't look like a period finish like the one in the show, and we didn't really see the one in the show that close up. But it's my educated guess that it would have been a turnover on this side, just like the jacket pattern that I based this off of. It had, in fact, I think both sides had a turnover. One was quite a bit larger than the other, but one would have buttonholes and the other would have your metal military buttons. So yeah, so I'm gonna have that facing, and once that facing's in, I'll be able to put in the lining, and once that lining's in, well, facing, hem. This is I can't wait till I can get rid of all of this, because this is just not ideal. Yeah, because this fabric, as beautiful as it is, it frays like a bitch. It is. I cut it away, and as you can see, that black is where it's starting to run. So I'm working against the clock. I probably can I probably can put on some little fixative or something like this, fray stopper. But I don't think it'll be necessary, because once I attach the lining to this bottom edge, got the jump, and hem that properly, there's going to be nothing to fray away. So yeah, that is a non-issue. And I've also secured the inside seams with herringbone, just because there's quite a bit of bulk and less bulk here, but having that as flat to the surface as possible is going to make all the difference, because it's a very, very heavy jacket. I should weigh this when it's done. It's heavy. The pants are heavier somehow. But yeah, I'll definitely weigh that for a video. So yeah, lining, and then finally the collar. And the collar, I'm not certain if I'm going to use the same trim as I did for these. It's gonna be one of those situations where I'm gonna try it and see, because I might cut it down. I might only use part of this trim and just sort of give it a little Frankenstein of a collar trim, because it only really needs to follow all around the edge and finish on the other side. So it's nothing as intense as these ribbon and lace layers. But yeah, I'll have to try it and see. And of course, that's going to be foiled and but yeah, I'll save the collar and the epaulets, for its own little video, because I think it shouldn't be too difficult to get these trims flush around the edge of this circular sort of a shape, these little shoulder beams, if you will. But who knows? Maybe that is that could be the next 2-hour video. Who knows? But yeah, I'm excited to see these in the actual fabric, because on its own, like, I already am really in love with the shape, but once it has that weight and the gold, the ribbon and the ribbon and the lace, sorry, it's gonna just jump out at you. And of course, like, this is just the finished edge. Sorry, this is the finished edge. So we're gonna have the ribbon on the top, and that lace is just gonna hang over there. Which is why I wasn't super fussed about the fact that one of these, it's this one, it's the left side, doesn't quite match up. And it doesn't matter that much. It's bothering me more than anything. Like, there's fairly even distribution of the gathering on both sides. It's pretty symmetrical as far as that's concerned. But yeah, the point is the lace is going to cover it, and so will the actual little epaulet. So it's a non-issue. I am going to need to remove those gathering stitches in the sleeves, and also give it a good press, because as it is right now, as the jacket sleeves are right now, it's just sort of hanging out. the armhole is just sort of doing its own thing. This monstrous thing. It doesn't look that attractive, and you're right, it isn't. It isn't. But once I press that, I'm not sure if I'm gonna press it out. No, I'll probably press it out. I might even add a little what's the word? Sleeve puff. I might even add a sleeve puff to just give it that, just fill in that negative space that the easing of the sleeves has given me. So that might even make it a lot smoother. But won't know until I try. But I'm gonna do that off camera because this is just me being a little bit OCD. But that's okay. You guys have seen the fun bits. I'm gonna focus on the stressful bits that are gonna bother me late at night. So yeah, that's the video. Yeah, the sleeves are in, and yeah, that's the next step. So the facings and lining, and finally the collar and epaulets. And who knows, maybe by the time I finish this, there'll be another convention because as I'm recording this, it is Supernova has been cancelled again, so we won't see a convention until next year here in Perth. So that's fine. It just means I've got a lot of time to prepare for other costumes, and who knows? Maybe it'll be Jaskier and Bayonetta for Supernova weekend. Who knows? Oh, actually, no, can't do that. Can't do that. I forgot about Joker. Anyways, that's the video. Thank you for everyone who made it this far. I know it was quite long in between videos, but thank you for sticking with it. Like I said, the next video I'm going to be doing some lining and finishing hems, maybe even some buttons if we're lucky. Like I said before, I am more active on my Instagram, so if you have any burning questions about the build, feel free to comment here, but I am more active on Instagram, so that's where I'll be. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye, guys.